On the show this evening, everybody, we've got your transfer updates as well, what Romano has been talking about on his channel and on Gimme Sports earlier on regarding Manchester United's potential midfield targets. A surprise midfield target has entered into the names of the many, let's just say that, of Manchester United potentials for this January potentially as well. How many times did they say potential in one sentence then? Yes, this is Forever United TV. Welcome along to your Monday evening show, everybody. Get into the comment section and give me your thoughts. We're starting with Benjamin Šeško this evening and that big update that we've all been waiting for. How bad is the injury? Well, it's not quite out yet. We'll go through everything that's been said from the Slovenian end, the Manchester United rumoured supposed talk as well, and where we're up to with that, alongside all the other news this evening as well, everyone. Welcome along. Hope you've had a great Monday. Weather's been absolutely shocking in Manchester. Again, winter has officially arrived, the last international break of this calendar year, and we could see a debut for Senna Lammens for Belgium. We'll talk about that as well later on in the show also. Could be a good international break for Manchester United, with Lisandro Martinez also out with the Argentinian squad training as well, and going to be fully prepared and ready for that Everton game perhaps when we return. So, Benjamin Šeško, first of all, his return not looking likely. We have definitely got confirmation now that he's out of the internationals anyway, and this has come from the Slovenian side of things. I'm going to run through what has actually been said on Benjamin Šeško so far from this afternoon as well, and what's been reported. Looking at everything, Romano first of all came out earlier on. Sam C had also come out late last night and then reaffirmed his position this morning, saying that internally at Manchester United, this is from now Romano as well, the feeling is that Benjamin Šeško's injury is not expected to keep him out long. Chris Wheeler has also gone in on this one from the Daily Mail, saying Benjamin Šeško's Slovenian strike partner Adras Sapora says they don't expect Sesco to report for international duty and will have to do it without him. Manchester United are expected to provide an update on his knee injury later today. Well, maybe we'll get some updates on Benjamin Šeško later tonight. That was earlier on in the day, earlier this afternoon, that Chris Wheeler was reporting. Romano also, while talking to Gimme Sports on Benjamin Šeško, the Slovenian head coach of Slovenia, I think he pronounced his name Matthias Kek. I think that's how you say it. Apologies again. He says, with all due respect to a great club like Manchester United, we have officially not received anything yet. No papers, no documents. We want our medical team to take a look at it. Our doctor is an expert in this field. We don't have just anyone in this position, he says as well. This, I think, is very, very important for Benjamin Šeško, the Slovenian international setup and everything like that. I think they will trust the reports from Manchester United. The reports also coming out from United's side on this is that he won't go on international duty. He will stay behind at Carrington for more examinations on his knee, just to gauge the severity of the situation. Now, we heard this before, we have been told that Manchester United do allow any swelling or inflammation, I think is the right word you use there. I think that's right. Sorry about that if I'm wrong there. But you know what I mean, the swelling around the knee. They let the injury calm down first of all and then rescan it again to make sure. This is the normal protocol. I am in the dark. I'm not going to say I'm a medical expert. I'm going off what's been said and where this injury is going to be, how this injury is going to be assessed. But to be honest, it's all words at the moment. Look, something might come up that's more severe. People have been asking the question, like we spoke about yesterday, regarding Ruben Amorim and potential targets as well. There is a lot to come from the Benjamin Šeško injury and how severe it is. It's not just about Benjamin Šeško. This affects Manchester United's January transfer plans. It affects Manchester United players currently in the Manchester United squad. One, namely, Joshua Zirkzee. And reports from Manchester United as well today are that Manchester United are planning on holding talks with Joshua Zirkzee and his representatives after they find out the severity of the injury to Benjamin Šeško. So clearly Manchester United don't want to leave themselves short, don't want to leave themselves with no striker, because let's be honest, who are we going to get as an emergency striker replacement for Benjamin Šeško if he is injured, who are we going to get in January? Because we're not getting Rasmus Højlund back. We can't. We don't want him anyway. Let's be honest. Sesco, I think, is going to be a big miss for Manchester United. Whether you think he's in form or not, and he's been playing poorly in the last couple of games, it doesn't matter. He is a massive miss, and he's a big part of Manchester United. Even if he isn't scoring goals at the moment, he is actually, I feel, just as important as some of the other players in the squad in terms of how Ruben wants to play. Joshua Zirkzee is ready to make a move away. He's been pushing for months, and now all of a sudden, an opportunity might open itself up for Joshua Zirkzee to get more game time. We will see, because if United do lose Sesco for more than, let's just say, the reported 2 to 4 week sort of period, which is being rumoured and put out there at the moment. That's the sort of general consensus at the moment. But if it's more than that, then that takes us into the January transfer window. That takes us into where Joshua Zirkzee then would be asking Manchester United to leave to get game time, to give himself a half a chance of making Ronald Koeman's World Cup squad for Holland. So, again, it has big implications, not just for one player himself, Benjamin Šeško, who's injured, but Joshua Zirkzee as well. Could some of Manchester United's academy players step forward if United can't find a replacement? There is nobody out there that I can think of right now that could come in for Manchester United on an emergency loan. United won't want to bring in an emergency loan, according to Ruben Amorim and what Fabrizio Romano has been saying. We'll see if we are backed into a corner on that one and whether that is going to, let's just say, change Ruben's mind if he needs an extra body in here. An emergency 6-month loan striker, you're not really grabbing the best quality in that department. We've seen this before. I have shivers down the spine of thinking back to Wout Weghorst and them days under Erik ten Hag when we brought that striker in, and of course 2 goals down the line for the rest of that season. Yeah, that's what quality you get. That's what you will be looking at if you go and get somebody in on the short term. And I don't think Manchester United are prepared to do it. I think they would rather stick with what they've got. And to be honest, if it was Joshua Zirkzee or taking potluck on someone loanee coming into United, I'll take Joshua Zirkzee, thank you. I think he knows what Ruben wants. He's been training with Ruben Amorim. There's no integration issues at all. He's liked by all of the players. I just feel like that would be the smart move to make. And Zirkzee just steps up into number 9. And maybe even come January, like we said this morning, all of a sudden the 2 men that were the forgotten men at Manchester United, the Kobbie Mainoo and Joshua Zirkzee, I feel like it's now opening up a little bit for them 2 players, perhaps. And you could see one move into 10 for Mbeumo and one move into 9 for Benjamin Šeško. Look, it's there and it's a possibility. So let's see how this moves forward. We are going to have to wait and see, though, what happens with Sesco. And I think more scans this week. Being very careful with the information that Manchester United are putting out at the moment, the club. So I think we're just going to have to just sit tight on this and see what news comes next on Benjamin Šeško. And the injury doesn't sound bad, but again, it is still early days, so let's just wait it out on that one. Get into the comment section on this, please, everybody. Massive shout out to one person in particular in the comment section. I did not know this, but I've just been told and informed. It's been going around the chat as well. It's Graham's birthday this evening, everybody. Good. Good. Happy birthday, Graham. Is that right? Am I right in thinking that it is Graham's birthday today? Has he actually told us in the chat? Please tell me, everybody, how old he is. Has he given it away? How old are you, Graham? Get in. Happy birthday, mate F. I had no idea, mate. You didn't give it away. You didn't tell me last week either. You bad person. You naughty man. So I'm only joking. But yeah, have a good one, mate. Hope you've had a good birthday so far, mate. And many happy returns, my man. Much appreciated all the work you do with the channel and constant interactions within the live chat. Yeah, Graham, have a good one, mate. Anyway, get into the comment section more importantly and let me know what you're thinking about Benjamin Šeško. Would you rather bring in a striker on loan or go with Joshua Zirkzee as the replacement if Benjamin Šeško's out? So let's just say it's 2 months. You're not going to go out and buy someone, are you? Joshua Zirkzee comes in and gets his game time. He'll have to fit into the system for Manchester United. And look at it. You just don't know. You just don't know with Joshua Zirkzee. He's one of them players that you cannot figure out. And you know what? If we can't figure him out, then oppositions might not be able to figure him out. That's how I'd look at it anyway. We do have a poll running right now. And it is Guess Graham's age. How old is Graham? 21, 30, 40, 45 plus. I'm guessing that's the mods just winding him up there. That's 21% of you in that poll already are saying that Graham is 21. Some people might not have seen Graham yet. You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know. You don't know, do you? Anyway, football is a crazy thing, isn't it? And a crazy game, sorry. And things can come around and surprise you. And this situation with Xerxes right now, John says there in the chat, it's crazy Xerxes can't get a sniff, but could walk into most Italian teams starting 11. The Italian league is not as good as the Premier League. I think we can safely say that. Look at Rasmus Højlund's start to the season, for one. No disrespect to him, but there are levels, I think, and the Premier League is the top level when it comes to, I feel, expectation anyway. And I do. I think it's more intense than any other league, and some players really struggle in it. It's Laugh at Liverpool Football Club Day today, on top of Graham's birthday. That was Graham's super chat there. Thank you, Graham. Go with Xerxes, get a midfielder for F's sake, says Madhouse. Happy birthday, Graham, as well. Lots of people putting comments in there on Graham's birthday. Is Xerxes a striker, Adam? We should not be putting them in at that position. They don't play, but knew it was a risk around the situation. Look, Xerxes can play at 9. He's more of a hybrid. He's a 9.5. I think it was Ruben Amorim who actually said that. Someone said it at Manchester United. I'm sure it was Ruben. He's a 9.5. He's not a 10. He's not a 9. He's somewhere in between. Well, right now, I would love to see him. I would love to see him as a out-and-out number 9 and stick there if we haven't got anybody else. I just don't think we could find that right striker coming in January. I don't. Look, I mean, what we've got to say here is, with Xerxes in particular, again, like I said earlier on, he's not a favourite for Ruben Amorim. He's not. But Ruben has been saying that these players do deserve to get into the side. And maybe this is the space for these players that Ruben was talking about. Maybe this is where these players actually do feature now and come in. Like, he can't take out some of the players that have been playing really well for him just because someone's training well. If everyone's training well, the players that train well and play well in the games are the ones that are going to stay in the team. So they have to wait for their opportunity. And it might now be here in front of us. And we might be seeing Joshua Xerxes step forward right now. Look, I can't think of any striker right now that's going to come into Manchester United on loan for 6 months if we need to bring anybody in January. I don't think United want to do it. I don't think they will. I think they would trust Xerxes. I think they would trust Cunha in there. You could push Kobbie Mainoo forward. You still got Mason Mount to play in at the 10 alongside Mainoo and obviously Cunha himself in rotation. Bruno could step up. You could go double pivot in Casemiro and Agate. Look, it's not ideal, but I don't think Manchester United under Ineos are going to go and panic buy or panic loan. I just don't see that happening at all for Manchester United going forward. Babs is in the house as well. We've seen the bad times of relegation and the glory years under Fergie. I'm looking forward to living long enough now to see the new stadium, hopefully. You will, Babs. You will. 5 gifted memberships from ourselves here at Forever United TV for some lucky people in the chat there as well. We will be doing some of them new YouTube shows where the lives continue into members-only Q&As. Tonight we're mixing it up. We're going to be over, as you can see, the link in the live chats on Big Up, doing a call-in show straight after this show here on YouTube, everybody. So we're going to jump across to the other platform and get your thoughts again on everything that's happened. Like, we are over a quarter of the way through the season, coming up to the last international break, and it's time to assess everything. So if you want to have your say on what's happening at Manchester United right now, click on that link. Make sure that you get on there, create your accounts, completely free, of course, on Big Up, and have your say later on. More on that as we get to the back end of this show as well, everybody. Xerxes isn't and never has been good enough. I don't know why people think he all of a sudden is good enough to play as our number 9. Mount or Cunha will be at 9 like they have been all season. I don't think Mount's been playing 9, to be honest. he has been predominantly 10. Cunha has played the 9. But look, we're not talking about Xerxes being good enough, Carl. No one's saying that. No one's saying that Xerxes is the right man for Manchester United. It's the complete opposite, in fact. It's Xerxes over somebody else who clearly won't be good enough because it's an emergency loan. And who are you going to get in as a 9 in January? I know you've mentioned Mount and Cunha there. I do expect Cunha to play a part. And you've also got the fact that this doesn't look like a long-term issue. I think Mason Mount would be the natural man to come in if Cunha's going to continue at 9 alongside Mbumo. And hopefully Sesco comes back, like what's been reported, before AFCON kicks off. Because that would be a bit of a bonus for Manchester United. Some people in there are talking about Vlahovic and that so-called being offered a player again. Look, Vlahovic for 17.5 million doesn't look like a bad deal. But if any club is offering you a player or an agent is offering you a player, you really are scraping the barrel if you take that on. Manchester United need to be going out and finding their players, not being offered players and taking them because they're available. No, United need to go out, scout their own, recruit their own, and then go and get them players in. Not being offered players and just taking them because it's easy. That's what United used to do. That's what United used to be known for under the old regime. Not anymore. I don't think that is going to happen. There are no quick fixes. I don't think anyone's going to come in the striker department. Personally, I don't think so. I think midfield is what Manchester United are looking at, and midfield is what Man United will be going for. And on that subject, actually, in terms of midfield, that moves us on. Keep your comments coming in as well, please, everybody. That moves us on to the transfer news and what has been rumouredly going around this afternoon. We'll move on to Fabrizio Romano's updates in a little bit. But this was a surprise one that popped out of nowhere from Graham Bailey later on this afternoon. In fact, it was in the last hour. Graham Bailey has been talking. Alex Scott, no, not the former female footballer, Alex Scott of Bournemouth is emerging as a real name now, and United are well aware of his talents. I'm told they watched him and liked him during his Bristol City days, but now he is maturing into a dominant player. We all know the big names linked to United heading into the new year and ahead of the next summer's transfer window, but keep an eye on Scott. He is a possibility for a number of clubs, and that includes Manchester United. So that from Graham Bailey. Manchester United keeping an eye on young central midfielder Alex Scott, who is playing in Bournemouth at the moment. In fact, has featured for Bournemouth quite a lot this season, totaling up 12 games already. So playing in every single game that Bournemouth have played this season. In fact, he started 10 of the 11 Premier League games so far this season for Iraola. The only one he's missed out on was the one against Leeds. He's also featured in the Carabao Cup as well. So he's had 11 starts in 12 games this season. Permanent fixture for Iraola. And if you're making one of Iraola's teams, then you have got some quality there. This is what Bournemouth do. They find the talents. This is what these smaller clubs have been doing for a while. Look, I don't think Alex Scott is the answer for Manchester United right now. It's another young prospect, another young English player as well. And he might feature. He might feature for Manchester United if he comes in. But is this a plug and play? Is this a player that you can go out in the transfer window and get? We talked about João Gomez this morning. I think he would come straight into Manchester United's side. Alex Scott, I'm not going to act like I know a lot about him. I've seen him in a few games this season. And of course, he's done well in a very, very good Bournemouth side. And only up until late against Manchester City and Aston Villa have Bournemouth really slipped up this season. They've been beaten by Liverpool, City and Aston Villa. There's no sort of bad luck on Bournemouth for losing them games at all. And we can't really say that Alex Scott is a fault of them defeats. But again, I just don't know. It's the honest answer with it. Look, he only came into the Premier League last season. He's got another 2 years left on his contract after this season finishes. Could he be another one of them players that comes in alongside the bigger signings? His market value at the moment isn't ridiculous either. I think he's around about 20 million, 21 million. But that's market value. Bournemouth, I'm sure, will bump up the price if any club was interested in him. I'm not just talking about United here. It's like Graham Bailey said, there are plenty of clubs interested in the younger, talented players in the Premier League. And at 22, I think he definitely ticks boxes for several clubs. He's not 23 until the start of next season, so he's still very, very young. But bags of experience in the Premier League now, entering his second season. So I think that's important to remember. And again, is it good enough for what Man United need right now? Could you go out and get an Alex Scott in January? I think it'd be difficult again, for one, because he's a regular Premier League player for another club, and no one wants to strengthen their rivals. And of course, again, is he the right type of player for Manchester United? Look, they've scouted him according to this, and it gives us a little bit of belief that even if we did do something like this, that we know what we're doing and we know what type of player we're getting. So we've got to look at that and say that that's probably a positive, but still, I think there are better options out there for me, and I'm not sure. I don't want to dismay Alex Scott and his qualities. I think he's a good player, but I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen enough of him to say that he is the right man for Man United. Look, it's a prospect again, an unknown. I'd like to see one more year. Could he see out this season and still smash it at Bournemouth? I've got other players that I would take way, way ahead of him at the moment. And that's just another name that's thrown into the hat, I think, because United are actually looking in the market this January. And everyone's looking for them sneaky little deals that Manchester United might go for. Basically, if you've got Premier League experience and you're a central midfielder, the media are going to report that you are wanted by Man United. It's as simple as that. We know there are certain players out there that would fit in at United, but not all of them can come to the club. So when you see reports like this, don't get carried away with them. I would actually say that there's a better chance that Man United would go for João Gomez over an Alex Scott. But then again, the younger, particularly English and Premier experienced players, is something United would be all over, I feel. So let's just see. We have also got a poll running again now. We've got rid of the Graham one. We've now got another one. That's Sesco chance on Saturday. Sesco should have done better. Unlucky, great defending. I was talking to Kaz about this earlier on. We was having a bit of a debate about it. About should he have done better? Do you put it down to Van der Ven's speed and quality defending and Sesco's lack of experience? Look, there's a few ways to look at it. There's been a lot of heavy criticism for Benjamin Šeško. I went mad in the game. Of course, I'm going to criticise players, but I'm not going to say that this man isn't good enough for Manchester United. Far from it. I think he has got real qualities, Benjamin Šeško, and I think we're still yet to see the best of him. And thankfully, from the news that we're hearing, it doesn't sound like we're going to be missing him for too long either, and we will have a chance to see the best of Benjamin Šeško. So let's just see. Hi Adam, I think Joshua Zirkzee will do a job, very powerful and strong, and will create also. Should not be left to smaller clubs to find talent, go back a few years and recruit from lower leagues instead of spending billions on foreign mercenaries. Look, I think Manchester United cannot always go out and find these gems and put them in. The pressure is too much for Manchester United for them to do this. I think this is the way that sometimes the Premier League works with certain players. Sometimes United have to allow other clubs to bring them in because that's the perfect club for that player to thrive and learn. And then United take them players. Can you imagine Manchester United going out and buying a player for £1 million and putting him straight in the Man United starting 11? It just won't happen, will it? It won't. I'm not saying that it shouldn't happen. I'm saying it just won't because the pressure is massive. I just don't think United are in the place to do it. Now, what we're doing behind the scenes with the academy and finding these younger players like Orozco, like Kone, like Chido, like Aidan Heaven. Obviously, you've got James Overy as well, who's out on international duty with Australia. Congratulations to him, another 17-year-old making his mark. Obviously, you had Diego Leon also, who has done this. You've got Kanabiak, who is now on loan at Lausanne, playing first-team football, scoring, 17-year-old. That, I think, is good for Manchester United, but you're never going to see a £1 million player be bought and put straight into Manchester United's side. They're always going to go to them other clubs, I feel, because they're going to get game time and they're going to have a better chance to develop. And with the super chat says, doesn't help when Inside United publishes footage of Sesco doing exactly that bloody move in training. What weapon authorised this release then? It's training though. Intense gameplay, completely different, I would say, on that one. Hello to anyone who is just joining us in the chat. Get your comments in. We're talking about the Benjamin Šeško injury, and we're asking the question from the top of the show tonight. Would you go out and look for another striker, or would you trust in what we've got already, namely Joshua Zirkzee? Does he get his chance further upfield? Does he come in at all? I think if this is a long injury for Sesco and we're going to lose Mbumo and Ahmad, there is absolutely no chance that Joshua Zirkzee is going to be allowed to leave Manchester United. But United have got talks planned with Zirkzee, and it is all in and around the news of Benjamin Šeško's injury, whether it is big or whether it is small, whichever way. That's how United are going to judge the Joshua Zirkzee situation and whether he can leave or not this January. Right, moving on to the other news, and it was from Fabrizio Romano earlier on, talking up Manchester United's potential in bringing in a midfielder, talking on Gimme Sports. I didn't make a story out of this, I didn't want to, because it's pretty much stuff that we already know. But on midfield targets for Manchester United, Conor Gallagher could be an opportunity, but Atletico Madrid didn't want to let him go in August, so let's see what happens in the January window. Thanks, Fabrizio. That is really updating us on what is going on. Yeah, you did say exactly the same thing last time as well, but let's be honest, what's the guy going to say? He's just going to update people who keep asking him the same questions in a time of the season that he's going to have no extra information in on any possible transfers. So, yeah, we're not going to see anything different come from Romano at all. Angelo Stella is also a player that they appreciate from Stuttgart, but I don't see a German club, how he says at German club, selling one of their stars in the January window at all. Well, last season it did. Mamouche was sold from Frankfurt to Manchester City. If the price is right, these clubs might go for it. But are United willing to spend more in January? We had this conversation this morning, didn't we? When we were saying that Manchester United might go out and find that player in January and pay a bit more rather than spending less in the summer. Paying now and paying more now might get you over the line in the Champions League, and it might end up paying for these players. If you make the top 4 this season, then Champions League football will pay for the majority of anything that you spend in January, and you can still move forward and strengthen in the summer on top of that. But Romano did say that he doesn't see this happening. He doesn't think Stuttgart will sell Angelo Stiller in January. So again, another target down. So January is not going to be easy, Romano said. It's going to be about opportunities in the summer. It could be different. And for sure, Manchester United in 2026 will add, again, at least one midfielder. Oh, God. Romano there. Abroad as you like, really, in what he's saying. My God. In 2026, Man United will be active. And we're going to buy at least one midfielder. Ooh, breaking news. Jeez, we're expecting 3 midfielders. And yes, January does come into the 2026. So, yeah. Thanks for that exclusive there, Fabrizio. We will definitely be watching our screens once them transfer windows are open, as we always are. But everybody knows what Manchester United are looking for right now. Everybody knows that United need a midfielder. And if we get the opportunity in January to get one, we're going to go out and try. And that's, well, that's the big question, isn't it? How far are Manchester United willing to go? It's exactly what we said this morning. Are you willing to pay 15, 20 million pound more for a player because he's being bought in January? That's the question. Nothing else. United can go and get whatever they want. They just have to pay the world for him. Are they willing to do it and bring players in and pay more just because you're getting them 6 months before the original target date, which is the summer transfer window, obviously? Well, let's not forget the summer transfer window is going to be very difficult this summer as well because of the World Cup going down. So, yeah, let's just see. Let's see if Manchester United try to beat everybody else to certain signings on this. Look, there is also a report going around again this morning. I didn't bring it up before. Double-checked it. It is right, but again, it's not great news for United. It's that United have shown real interest in Mark Guehi, but he has decided already, according to all the reports, everyone is now saying the same thing. I've checked out a few different sources, and everyone's written the same thing. He's got his eyes set on Liverpool, his heart set on them, and it's not going to be anybody else. He's not going abroad, he's not going to United, even though there is real interest. Liverpool know, Liverpool have got their man. They're confident that Mark Guehi will sign in the summer for nothing. So, yeah. Will he be in the Champions League with Liverpool? Ooh, that is a question to ask, isn't it, right now? But, hey, look, long way to go in the season yet. We are going to be discussing the season so far over on Big Up as well, right after this show, everybody. So, make sure that you click on that link in the live chats and create your free account over on Big Up to be in with a chance to get involved on the show. You can watch in for nothing. You don't have to create an account if you don't want, but it's better because if you do create an account, you can get involved in the chat and you can press the button which gets you on stage with a chance to speak to me as well and give me your thoughts. So if you want to have a chat and talk about United and have your say, then make sure you do click on that link in the live chat, please, everybody. Now, let's get some comments on that quickly. Any of them players, any thoughts on what Romano said? Anyone going for that Romano news in terms of it being exclusive, breaking? United are going to buy someone in 2026. Good God, Romano, like you say, you've really teed us up there, haven't you? I think get one midfielder if you can in January and then get 2 more in the summer. That's what I think anyway. And I said it before, if you do go out and buy a player that's better than what we've got, that we've already spoken about, that we know is good enough for Manchester United from what we've seen so far, then United, I feel, are right on it for top 4. I think investment in January could be the difference for Manchester United this season, 100%. I'm convinced of that. I don't think we'll get any of our main targets in January. Maybe still are at a push, but the club will get a couple of loans done if possible. Well, Romano said that we're not going for loans. So again, let's just see. It may completely change. Opportunity is the word that keeps on popping up when anybody's talking about Manchester United's transfer window. It's always about the opportunity, what's going to pop up, and what's give Manchester United that urge to buy and spend. Look, if they feel like the player is right for the team, I think they will go all out for it. But I think Manchester United have already proved and shown in the summer that if a club says the man's not for sale, we're walking away. We did it with Carlos Baleba, don't forget, and I think United will be doing it again. I think we will just walk away from deals. We're not going to chase players down that's going to end up turning into a bidding war or prices being hiked because they know we're desperate. They'll check. They'll see what can be done. They'll check from the players' side of things. They'll try and push it as far as they can. But in the end of the day, if nothing is happening, then nothing will happen. United won't pursue it. And with another stupid chat, thank you very much, mate. On fire tonight, my friend. Fab is breaking news as a firework on the 5th. Right, okay. I sort of got what you mean there, mate. Raphael says, my dream signing, Fede Valverde. Yeah, that would be a little bit too much of an ask, I feel, anyway. There's not a chance. Amorim is too defensive when we score first, Adam. Well, at home we've not been. I get that away from home, but he comes out and talks after the game, Amorim, like he is not happy with his team trying to sit back, falling back into our old routine, trying to defend the lead instead of trying to extend the lead. That's what that's what Ruben has been saying. So is it Ruben that's defensive, or is this team mentally just struggling to handle having the lead? That could be what the problem is. Not just the fact that it's Ruben Amorim who's been a bit pragmatic and going defensive. I don't see that. I don't. Another gifted membership in there from London as well. Thank you very much, mates. That's 6 new members on the show tonight. Loving that. We're nearly at 200 likes as well, so please keep banging them likes in, everybody. We might need 2 defenders, but we can't defend. We might be 2 defenders, but we can't defend. Average conceding 2 goals a game. Kind of didn't make sense, but did in that one, Carl, I think. But look, defence, again, I think could be protected better by the midfield. Constant possession and control of games will definitely help Manchester United going forward. And I think ultimately will bring the goals down that we are conceding as well. So I think that is important to remember. The defence has been defending quite well and having some switch-off moments in games. I know that still counts, and you've got to defend for the full 90 minutes, but still, there's some form of mentality problem with our defenders to concentrate for full games. The last 3 games have all been exactly the same, conceding 2 goals quite close together within 10 minutes of each other. Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and Tottenham at weekend. Exactly the same. It's weird, isn't it? It is very, very strange what's going on with our defence at the moment. Amorim is not defensive. Our lads are still scared of making errors, says Manny with his super chat. Thank you, Manny, for that, mate. Let's see what else we've got in here as well. But in January, a midfielder is an absolute must. The way the midfield dies when Casemiro gets subbed off is very concerning. It is indeed. Can't see United wanting Mateta. Just got a gut feeling, says Graham. Look, Mateta for free in the summer. Boo! I think that's a no-brainer. You've got to go for that. That is a plug-and-play player if ever I've seen one for Man United and Ruben Amorim. Mateta would be a beast in this side. He really would. If United can get him, I would be all in for Jean-Philippe Mateta. I think he's an absolute baller, me. I think he scares defences to bits. To have that bully up front, it's been a while. Zlatan was the last one, wasn't he? And it would be nice to have someone up there that's just going to shove players off again. It's actually got a bit of pace about him as well. Anderson plus Stiller plus Wharton. Yeah, that would be a window and a half, wouldn't it? Hi, Adam, a top midfielder transforms this team. We don't control games anymore, and that's what we need. I don't think we are a million miles away. I think we need a left wing back too. Oh, you can say that again, buddy. You can say that. Everything that you just said there, I agree with. We're not a million miles away. We definitely need strengthening on the left, and the midfielder does completely transform us. 100%. Mateta's 1 year option has been triggered, I think. I don't even know if he had one, you know. I've not heard anything on that at all. We will have a look into that anyway, but I just feel like he's going to go anyway in the summer. Even if someone pays money, I think he's not going to sign a new deal, I don't think. I think he wants 1 more year at Crystal Palace, playing in the Conference League, giving them another season, and then he'll take one last stab at a big club, I think. Because, like I said, he's now into his late 20s, Mateta, so he's got 1 more move in him, and that's it. So the only thing is with this, it's like, I don't see Ineos, and I've said this constantly, haven't I? I don't see Ineos buying anybody for more than 30 million over the age of 26. I just don't think they're going to do it. They want longevity. They want players that are going to be here for a while at Manchester United. I think they'll spend big money on 25-year-olds, mid-20s. Mateta, what's he creeping up? 27, 28 now, I think. I might be pushing it a little bit. So, yeah, Adam wanted Mateta before Sesco, so definitely 100% the realist. Look, I've always liked Mateta. I've always reported on it. I didn't see United going in for Sesco. I really didn't. I honestly, I still love Benjamin Šeško, and I will back him all the way. I think he has got qualities that a lot of previous Manchester United strikers haven't got, and recent strikers as well. So I do believe that Benjamin Šeško will come good. I'm just saying it won't do him any harm to have a bit of competition to help him out and take the pressure off. And if United can get something done, again, it's difficult in January, but if we can in the summer even, go for it. Make it happen, because the more strikers and more options United have got, the better it is for everyone at the club. It'll make them players better, and I think we'll give everybody the chance, I think, only if we're in Europe, I would say anyway. But we are going to need a bigger, better squad if we do hit Champions League. Just looked at Mateta contract, ends in June 2027. Still would be cheap with a year left. So yeah, maybe he has extended that contract. Mateta is 28 though. So yeah, you're going to have to spend a bit of money on a 28-year-old, which I don't see United doing. I really don't. I just don't think United are going to spend massive amounts. Depends what Crystal Palace want at the end of the day, doesn't it? That's all it's going to come down to. I think we dodged a bullet with Delap. We might have actually, Tim, to be honest. He's not really doing much at Chelsea, is he? And that was going to be one of Man United's big signings. So, yeah. Well, let's just see now how he does the rest of the season. But I'm happy with Sesco over Delap at the moment still. I don't want to go in on Benjamin Šeško. I'll criticise him in game if he does something wrong, but I still think we've got plenty to come from him. Senna Lamens was another signing Manchester United made, and with Courtois being out of the Belgium squad, maybe we will see a debut for Senna Lamens. What a couple of months it's been for our Belgium number one, eh? Wow. Going from Antwerp to Manchester United, not playing and having to sit behind Bayern for 3 games, and then making his debut and being part of Manchester United's best form in the Premier League for over 2 years. That is big. And now it looks like he's going to get the nod and play for Belgium, maybe. Whoa. Absolutely buzzing for him. And you know what? We haven't spoken about this too much, but Senna Lamens' role in that equaliser for Matthijs de Ligt at weekend, that can't go unnoticed. He caused chaos and pulled 2 defenders away in his movement going to the front post if you watch it back. And that probably gave that little bit more room to Matthijs de Ligt at the back stick. So let's not forget the role that he played in the goal as well. But to be honest, look, we're all just happy that we've got a goalkeeper here that is just doing basics and doing basics well. And that's all we've wanted for years now. I feel so happy having Senna Lamens in goal. I feel like he has been a breath of fresh air, and the players are feeding off that as well. So yeah, I'm chuffed to bits that Senna's in our goals, and he's going to get his chance for Belgium as well. More than deserved, I feel. And I think we have found our number one goalkeeper. I really do. People kept telling me, calm down, Adam, it's 1 game. Then it was 2. We're now at 5, and we're still unbeaten. So I'm going to keep on blowing that trumpet well and truly for Senna Lamens. And I actually think that we have found a little diamond there in Senna, and I think he is going to be Man United's goalkeeper. And with Radek Vitek coming back in from Bristol City in the summer, all signed up till 2028, I think United are quite strong. Get rid of Bayern, get him off the books, have a decent setup in the goalkeeping area, and I think we're laughing going forward. I really do. And then, obviously, we can concentrate on what's necessary and what's necessary elsewhere in the pitch, which is, of course, the midfield for Manchester United. So, yeah, get the midfielder in. That more important than anything else. Just to run back quickly to the top story again, if you are just joining us on the live show this evening, Benjamin Šeško isn't thought to be too badly injured. Word from Romano and a few others on top of that now saying that he is not going to feature for Slovenia in this international break. The Slovenian Federation are still waiting to hear from Manchester United. There is thought to be more scans this week. Benjamin Šeško is going to stay with Manchester United and not go on international duty. He's going to get his medical work done here, and then the report is going back to the Slovenian FA to obviously assess themselves, but he is not going to feature for them. And we are waiting now on that and the severity of the injury, because that is going to affect Manchester United and the likes of Joshua Zirkzee, because apparently Manchester United are ready to sit down and have talks with Zirkzee, but only when they find out how severe the injury is to Benjamin Šeško and that knee. You can go if Benjamin Šeško's all right. If he's injured and out for a while, you're not going anywhere. I think that's the conversation that's coming for Joshua Zirkzee. I think if he knew he was getting a few games, then he'd be all right. But when Sesco comes back, you could see him dropping straight back out again. And I think that's the angle that he's going to take. United just want to use him as a squad player, which we're quite within the rights of doing. But you know what player power's like these days. Some players just won't have that. Prime De Gea vibes. That leg save. Yeah, I agree, Ant. Leg saves are De Gea's speciality. Yeah, we've not got a goalkeeper diving over the top of the ball instead. Like, you know who. Let's just not even mention the man's name. Look, that's your show for this evening, everybody. Thank you so much. I love that. Another great one. Great debates in there as well. Loving the chat, getting involved there and talking about different options for Manchester United. Always good to get loads of different views on it as well. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, mods. Thank you to all of the super chatters as well in the show this evening. We are now going to move across to Big Up. So hit that link in the live chat, please, everybody, and get across. If you want to have your say, now's the time. Get on there and press that button in the top right-hand corner, the microphone button, to enter the stage. I will see that pop up, and then we can have a good old chinwag, and we can get some more opinions, which is very nice, because it makes me it helps me sit back and relax and listen for a while, and it's a nice change. But for now, that's it here on YouTube. I'll see you on Big Up in just a moment. Cheers, everybody.